Hi everybody, this is Crystal. So today I'm going to show you how to make this infinity scarf, and you can actually make it as long as you want. It's got some cables all the way up it, and I think it turned out really nice. It's sewn together here, and if you didn't even want to make it an infinity scarf, you wouldn't even have to sew it together, but it's actually really easy. You can do the back post and front post, and you can do this with ease. So let's go ahead and get started on it. Okay, for this project I used a Lion Brand Mandala yarn, which is a 3-ply lightweight number 3 yarn, and there are 590 yards in this skein, and one skein will make a scarf. Now this is how much I have left out of my skein. If you want to use a whole skein and make it longer, you can. But the color I am using is called Serpent, I believe. Yep, Serpent. And I'm going to be using a size, it's a H, which is a 5mm crochet hook. Now this stitch is done in a multiple of 3 in case you want to make it thicker or thinner, or you want to use this project for something else, or this stitch for a different project. I'm sorry. So to make mine, I started off with a chain of 27, and once you get your chain of 27 done, you want to go ahead and do a double crochet in the 4th stitch from the hook. And remember, we never count the one that's on our hook. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then it's just 1 double crochet in every stitch for the length of the chain. Okay, when you make it to the end of row 1, you should have 25 stitches, and that is counting this chain here on the end. It counts as a stitch. So for row 2, we're just going to chain 3 and turn our work. That chain 3 counts as a double crochet. Now what we're going to do is skip 1 stitch, and we're going to do a front post triple crochet around the next. So we'll skip this one. Now we're going to yarn over twice like we're going to do a triple. And instead of doing it in the top of the stitch, we're going to go around the post. Just like that. And now we're just going to go ahead and finish out our triple crochet. Like that. And now we're going to go back to that stitch that we skipped right there. And we're going to do a front post triple crochet around that one. So we'll yarn over twice. And we'll go right back around the post of that stitch that we skipped. And finish out our triple crochet. Just like that. So that's kind of one cable. Now they look kind of twisty at first, but once you get more rows, you'll be able to see them better. Now I'm going to do 1 double crochet into the top of the next stitch. Just like that. And that's kind of the repeat for the entire row of row 2. So I'm going to skip the next stitch and do a front post triple around the post of the next stitch. So skip this one. And this one around the post, I'll do my triple crochet, my front post triple. Sorry. And now I'm going to go backwards to the one I skipped and do a front post triple crochet around that one. Just like that. And then I'm going to do a double crochet into the top of the next stitch. And now you got another cable made. Again, I'm going to skip 1 stitch and do a front post triple around the next one. So I'm going to yarn over twice again, skip this one, go around the post of this one, do my triple crochet. Then I'm going to go back to the stitch that I skipped and do a front post triple around that one. And then I'm going to do 1 double crochet into the top of the next stitch. Now I'm going to repeat this pattern until I get to the end of the row. Skip 1 and do a front post triple, then go back and do a front post triple in the one you skipped, and then a double crochet around, a double crochet into the top of the next. Okay, I'm coming to the end of row 2, and I just did my post stitch, and I have 1 stitch left. This chain here that I remember, it counts as a double crochet. You want to just put a double crochet in that last stitch, and you should still have 25 stitches. You should always have 25 stitches still. Now for row 3, we're going to chain 3, count as a double, and turn our work. Now we're going to be working back post stitches this time. Since we're on the back side of our work, that's when we work back posts. So what we're going to do is, we're not going to skip any stitches. We're just going to do a back post triple around this one, and then around the next one. So we're going to yarn over twice. Now the back post is, you just come from the behind the neck, this first stitch here, like that. The post is on the back of your hook, and then you go ahead and do your triple crochet like that, and then we're going to do a back post triple into the next stitch. So go right from behind it like that, and then do your triple crochet, and now we're going to put 1 double crochet into the top of the next stitch, which is the double crochet from the previous row. So 1 double crochet right in the top of it. Now that's kind of the repeat for row 3. We do a back post triple around this stitch and then this stitch, so we don't skip stitches on this one. Go right from behind it, just like that. Your post is on the back of your hook. Do your triple crochet, and then back post triple around the next one. Make sure you look around and you're getting the right one. It's easy to get these posts mixed up, but as long as you're careful, you'll be able to get it just like that. And then we will do a 1 double crochet into the top of the next stitch, which is the double crochet from the previous row. Again, we're going to do a back post triple around the next stitch and 1 around the next stitch. So we just yarn over twice, go around the post from the back side like that. That way the post is on the back of your hook. Do your triple crochet, and then again into the next stitch. Like that. And then 1 double crochet into the top of the next stitch. Now we're just going to repeat this until we get to the end of the row. And if you flip it over, you can see your posts are starting to look a little bit more like posts, and they'll look a lot better when you get more rows going. Okay, when you come to the end of your row here, when you're working on the back, sometimes it's easy to get these confused because these chain 3s here, they'll start to curve in. What I always do is I just stick my finger in there, and then I can see that right here are the 2 posts that I need to work in. So I'll stick my finger there, and then I know I need to do a front post triple around this stitch and this stitch. So I'll go ahead and do that. That was the hardest part for me. I got confused a lot here at the end until I realized it was just easier just to put my finger there and hold that stitch back. That way it didn't get in the way. And then you want to put a double crochet in the top of this chain 3. Count your stitches, 1, 2, 3. Make sure you get the 3rd one. Just like that. Now all it is really is a repeat of rows 2 and 3. So you would just repeat row 2 again by chaining 3 and turn in your work. Now this time is where we skip. So here's your post. You can see them sticking out. We're going to skip this one and front post triple around the next. And then we're going to back it up and do a front post triple around the one that we skipped. And then it's 1 double crochet into the top of the next stitch, which is the double crochet from the previous row. And then we skip the next post stitch here and front post triple around the next. and then we back it up and front post triple around the one we skipped, and then double crochet into the top of the next stitch. So I'm repeating row 2 now, and I'm just going to do that until I get to the end of the row. And when you make it to the end again, you just want to find your chain 3 here. They tend to flip in, and it's supposed to do that. You're not doing anything wrong, but go ahead and pull it out and do a double crochet into the top, then the third chain here, the top of it. So 1, 2, 3, double crochet, and now we just repeat row 3 again by chaining 3, turning our work. And now we're not going to skip any stitches. We're just going to do a back post triple around the first 2 stitches. So triple, or yarn over twice, do a back post triple around the first one, and back post triple around the next one, and double crochet into the top of the next stitch, back post triple around the next 2, so the first one here and the next one, and double crochet into the top of the next stitch. So I'm just repeating row 3 now till I get to the end of my work. My piece is a little bit smaller than the 25 stitches. I'm just doing a sample here. Okay, when you get here to the end, remember I said it's sometimes because of the nature of these chain 3s flipping in, got to kind of pull them back so you can see the 2 stitches that you need to do a front post or a back post triple around. So it's easier just to pull it out, that way you can see what you're doing. And then we go ahead and double crochet into the top of this chain 3 here. So count 1, 2, 3 up. It looks like there's 4 chains there, 1, 2, 3, 4, but there's not. That's just part of that triple crochet there. So make sure you're getting in the third one. And you should always have, no matter what row you're on, every row is going to end in 25 stitches. So this is what it starts to look like. And remember, I told you these flip in naturally. You're not doing anything wrong. So you just keep repeating rows 2 and 3. Okay, I went ahead and did a total of 111 rows. Now you can do more if you want, however long you want your scarf to be. That's how many you could do. This is what I got left on my skein. If you want to finish out your skein, you can, but my hands were getting pretty tired, so I went ahead and tied off. But however many rows you do, you want to end in an odd number. So 111 is what I did. And then I tied off and I left a long tail because we're going to sew our 2 sides together. Now if you look at it, flip it over to the wrong side, you'll see how these kind of fold in. Well, it's supposed to do that. These chain 3s, they fold in. Well, I like the look of that from the opposite side. It kind of makes it look like it's standing up on its own. But if you don't like the look of that, you can get rid of that by just going around the edge and single crochet. So like in each one of these chain spaces along the edge here, if you want to get rid of that and make it like straight out to where it doesn't curl under, you'd put like 2 single crochets right through each one of these chain spaces. You do that all the way down, and you want to do that after we get it sewed together. That's it, if you want to do that. I think it looks cool the way it is, so I'm going to leave mine, but we're going to sew it together. So you want to put the good side up like this, and then fold it over like that. So now the wrong sides, it's folded in half, and the wrong sides are facing us. So I'm going to take a yarn needle and my tail, and I'm just going to sew it together and then I'll flip it right side out. So I'm just going to put my pieces together here, and just neatly sew it together. Oops. I'm gonna go kind of just over the top like that, and then when we flip it right side out, you won't be able to see the seam. Just match up your stitches here. Grab one here, sew it up. Ah, the other tail's in my way. And I'm just going to do this all the way down until I get to the end. Try to keep them lined up as best as possible, your stitches. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this. I'm just going to get all the way to the end here, and then I'll finish hiding this tail, or weaving in the rest of the tail, and then I'll weave this one in, and then I'll flip it right side out. Okay, once you get your piece sewed together, you can flip it right side out. So there's my seam. It looks pretty nice and clean. And that is it. That is, of course, now if you wanted to go around the whole piece with single crochet, like I said, if you don't like the way these ends fold in, but I like it. I think it looks good. I don't really do crochet, but I might wear this. But that's it. I hope you enjoyed my tutorial. Please don't forget to check out all my other tutorials. I have hundreds of them on YouTube. Don't forget to check me out on Facebook and Instagram and Etsy, and I'll put a link to all that stuff below and a link to where you can get the pattern for this. And until next time, have a good day.